Welcome along to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a specific document, an outline actually, called The Wonderful Possibilities of the Word of Jesus, Hebrews 1.1 to 4. And our aim, like always, is to unpack its core ideas, sort of give you the key takeaways from this particular source. So it kicks off right away with a foundational idea from Hebrews 1 verses 1 to 4, basically saying, God spoke through prophets in the past, but now in these last days, he's spoken definitively through his Son.
Right, and what's striking is how the outline immediately paints this really detailed picture of the Son. He's not just a messenger. He's the appointed heir of everything, the one through whom the worlds were actually made. It even calls him the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person.
That's powerful language. Express image.
It is. It suggests a perfect reflection of God's nature. And crucially, he's described as upholding all things by the word of his power. So it's not passive. It's an active, ongoing thing.
Just by his word.
Just by his word. And the outline draws a clear line from this. Everything we need for this life and the next comes through him. Power, grace, it's all sourced in Jesus, according to this document.
Okay, so that sets a pretty high bar for understanding who Jesus is right from the start. It feels like establishing maximum authority.
Exactly. It's laying the groundwork.
And building on that, there's this quote from Pastor W.F. Kumuyi that the outline seems to hinge on. Jesus is the Father's word, he is the foremost word, and he is the final word.
Foremost and final.
Which then leads into the three possibilities, as the outline calls them. Three aspects of his word: saving power, prevailing power, and perpetual nature. So let's start with the first one, this idea of the saving, pardoning word of Jesus. Where does the document take us first?
Well, it jumps straight into some very specific stories. First up is the man with palsy from Mark chapter 2. And the really interesting thing is Jesus doesn't immediately say, be healed. He says, son, thy sins be forgiven thee.
Addressing the spiritual before the physical?
Precisely. And the outline presents this as a final, unchangeable declaration of forgiveness. Done.
Okay.
Then it goes to the sinful woman in Luke 7. You know the story. She comes weeping. And Jesus declares, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much.
Again, a direct declaration.
Yes, and the source emphasizes that this word meant her guilt, her condemnation, it just vanished, replaced by peace, confirmed by the Father, it says.
Wow. Vanish.
And the third example is the thief on the cross, Luke 23. He turns to Jesus in his last moments.
Right, asking to be remembered.
And Jesus' response is immediate. Today shalt thou be with me in paradise. And the outline frames this as instant salvation, secured by that promise, that word.
So in all these cases, the word itself seems to be the active agent. It does the work.
That's exactly the point the outline makes. When Jesus speaks pardon or salvation into a life, that's it. The change happens. Guilt goes, forgiveness comes.
That claim of vanishing guilt, it's quite absolute, isn't it? It implies a total reset.
It does. The document suggests a complete and definitive removal. The significance being its permanence. It's not presented as temporary. It's a done deal.
Okay, so that covers the saving aspect. Now, this second point, the spoken prevailing word, this comparison you mentioned earlier really caught my eye.
Ah, yes, the contrast with Moses or Elisha.
Right. They needed tools, a rod, the ark, a mantle to do amazing things. But the outline says Jesus just needed his spoken word.
Yeah, it's highlighting a difference in method, perhaps in inherent authority. And the prime example used here is the centurion servant in Matthew 8.
The Roman officer.
That's the one. His servant is terribly sick, and he comes to Jesus. But he doesn't insist Jesus come to his house.
No, he says something quite remarkable.
He does. He says, Lord, I am not worthy, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. Just speak the word.
Such incredible faith. Recognizing authority.
And Jesus acknowledges that faith, right? And the text says the servant was healed in the selfsame hour, miles away, presumably.
Without Jesus being physically present.
Exactly. And that's the core claim the outline pulls from this. Jesus does not need to be physically present with you or touch you before you are healed. His final word is enough. Distance isn't a barrier.
And you see that reinforced elsewhere, too. Like Matthew 8.16 later says, he cast out the spirits with his word and healed all that were sick. Just the word.
Consistent theme.
But is there a condition for this prevailing word to, prevail in someone's life?
Yes, the outline is very explicit about this. It states, you must own Jesus as Lord and accept and believe him as Lord for his word to work in your life.
So acceptance and belief in him as Lord is presented as the key.
It's presented as the essential foundation, yes. Without that, the implication is the word doesn't have that same effect for that person.
Okay, that leads us naturally into the third aspect then. If his word saves and prevails, what about its staying power? This idea of the sovereign, perpetual word.
This really brings it all together, in a sense. The key verse the outline quotes is Matthew 24:35.
Let me guess. Heaven and earth shall pass away.
But my words shall not pass away. Exactly.
That's a staggering claim of permanence.
It really is, and the document draws a profound implication from it. Even if everything we see, heaven and earth, collapses, Jesus' words about salvation, forgiveness, new life, eternal life, those stand. They will be fulfilled no matter what.
So his words are presented as more permanent than creation itself.
That's the assertion. It implies an ultimate, unshakable reality anchored in his declarations.
So if his words won't pass away, what does that mean practically, according to the source, for the things he declares over us?
It means, according to the outline, that no one, no power, no personality or creature anywhere can undo the effect of Jesus' word once it's spoken and received.
Nothing can cancel it out.
Nothing, because it's perpetual. So any blessing, salvation, healing, deliverance from Jesus, the document, claims it will be permanent. Problems will go forever. It's about lasting, definitive change, not temporary relief.
So, looking back at these 3 points: saving, prevailing, perpetual, the picture the outline paints is of a word that's immediate, powerful regardless of distance, and absolutely permanent.
That sums it up well. A word with ultimate authority and finality.
It feels like the source is building a case that there's essentially no situation or need that his word cannot definitively address.
I think that's a fair reading of the outline's intention, and that understanding logically flows into the final section.
Which is the call to a decision.
Exactly. The whole message is framed as having direct application. Primarily, it says, for unbelievers to recognize Jesus Christ as the sole path to escape eternal judgment.
So an evangelistic purpose.
Clearly. But it doesn't stop there. It also suggests that for believers, this understanding provides guidance for victory in life and ministry.
Practical help for living?
Yes, and even for specific groups. For young people, it offers principles of success in academics and careers. For ministers, ways to be role models. It connects this theology to everyday life and responsibility.
Right, it's not just abstract ideas. And the document itself actually prompts action, doesn't it?
It does. It explicitly invites the reader to pray a simple prayer of faith for your salvation and forgiveness of sin.
And provides a link for more info, making it very direct.
Yes, presenting that prayer as the ultimate, most crucial application of everything discussed. The first step, based on the power and finality of Jesus' word.
Okay, so we've walked through the outline's perspective on the power, reach, and permanence of Jesus' word.
It's quite a comprehensive view based on those initial verses in Hebrews.
It definitely presents a very high view of the authority and effect of what Jesus says.
Which leads to a final thought perhaps for you listening. Given this document's intense focus on the absolute finality and permanence of Jesus' word, the idea that it won't pass away even when heaven and earth do, what might that imply for how we could approach our own challenges or decisions? Especially when we're seeking not just a quick fix, but maybe a truly definitive, lasting resolution, something to consider.